Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the POWERBOOST Meditation. Today, let us explore this theme: thoughts are just thoughts. We all have thoughts and many thoughts, but to realize that thoughts are only thoughts. Many times, we tend to give a lot of meaning, importance to our thoughts, and many times we tend to feel that our thoughts, which are fleeting, which come and go, we base our self-respect or our identity on that. And so it's important to realize that one is the central awareness, the consciousness of the truth, the eternal truth, that we are spirits, we are in this costume, in this body, we are actors, we belong to a spiritual dimension. We have our spiritual parent, and we have come here to play our role. So it's like this is the consciousness of the truth that we are all in. And when we start to act in the play of life, what happens is, if there is one thought, and then from this central consciousness of truth, if there is one thought and I begin to follow that thought, and I just begin to make that world of the thought real for me, then that takes me away from this consciousness of the truth. And that thought could take me to we call it a sight scene, or it may take me into a whole world of its own. And then any insecurity around that thought, I tend to experience it. And that's what makes my mind go into the expansion of thoughts, those thoughts. But to just realize that this central consciousness of the truth, just who am I? Where have I come from? Who do I belong to? And why am I here? These eternal thoughts are like seeds, and let me allow them to take root and create this consciousness of truth within me. And then, even if I have to think about anything else, I'm very easily able to be stable in this consciousness and just pay my attention to whenever and however it is needed. But in doing so, I'm not coming out of this eternal consciousness. And we are moving into times when things are becoming more and more unpredictable on the drama level. And so there is all the more chance for one thought and then another thought and then another thought to come. It is okay to think, but rooted in my consciousness of truth. And so when I realize that thoughts are just thoughts, I don't need to pay a lot of attention and go into that stream. But as soon as I realize that I'm going astray, it is good to think about necessary thoughts. But the moment I realize I'm going astray, I just tell myself, thoughts, these are just thoughts. Come back and stay in my truth. And so staying in the truth is like staying in the light. And moving into the world of too many thoughts It's like moving into a complex web, moving into darkness. And so let us take a few moments to just stay in this consciousness of truth. And whenever any thoughts arise, I just bring them back to this consciousness. So let us maybe experiment with this for a few minutes as we sit quietly and we relax. Just taking a moment to step into my world, my truth. From the world outside, the world of the role, let me gently step inside my inner dimension. Let me close the door, the external world. And as I come inside, I silently become aware of my eternal reality. The realization that this eternal being, the star, is who am I. A being that is real, a being that is an actor, a being who is a guest, a being who is an eternal traveler. I allow these eternal thoughts to take root inside of me. I realize that because I'm an actor, and this external world is a stage, I live eternally in the dimension beyond. That's where I, the spirit, the soul, and all of us souls come from. This dimension is the dimension of silence. And this dimension is where I feel as a soul I belong to my eternal family. And I experience that I belong to the divine. being held in the presence of the divine. My reality is here. The world down below, the story is a story. It is a fiction. It is a stage. But I, the being, just experiencing the presence of the divine. In this silence, I feel the healing presence of the divine. The love of the divine is unconditional. It is eternal. It is real. It is natural. It is constant. It is personal for me. And I, this being, I feel secure, safe, in the presence of the divine. There's nothing else that matters but just being loved completely by this being who constantly stays in the light of truth. And the company of the divine allows me to experience his mind and stay close in this light. This consciousness of being in the truth is natural for me. Experiencing love for every soul is natural for me. And staying outside the drama, the story, is real for me. In this dimension, there is a silent acceptance. There is a silent love, silent presence, and deep experience of silence. just hold on to this silence. And as I slip in back into the dimension of the role, the body, the character, I naturally hold on to this inner truth. I am rooted strongly in this consciousness of truth, of knowing myself, being myself naturally. And from this space, as I emerge thoughts about the story and the drama, I allow those thoughts to be filled with the vibrations of silence, the silence of the soul. Om Shanti.